forgive me because for that long sort of musical lead, and sometimes it works out that way. I just had an old friend that I hadn't talked to in a long, long time contact me on Messenger, and I was like, I can't let this get away right now. Watch this on Facebook. So if you're seeing this archive, because I haven't seen it, that Dana Gertner from what was, I think you were 623 Gettysburg Street in Pittsburgh, or was it 625? Anyway, right there. It's good to reconnect with you right now. I remember exactly what you were doing right before Super Bowl 14. This is a second grade girl who, the Steelers were in the Super Bowl, and all this, and she was playing with I'm lighting matches for the Steelers to beat the Rams. It worked, Bradshaw hit Stallworth twice in the fourth quarter, so there you go, Anyway, Tri-City Sports Now. It's Tri-City Sports Now. Please indulge me there, okay? I apologize, but it was, Anyway, the internet is a wonderful thing. You know what else is a wonderful thing? J. Ray's Heating and Air in Irwin. From installation, maintenance, and repair for your heating and air, locally owned and insured and traded. Call Jake Keplinger, 948-8016 for your free estimate. That's Jake Keplinger at area code 423-948-8016 for your free estimate. Okay, there you are. And if you missed that phone number, well, guess what? We archive the show on Facebook on 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities. Just get the number there for J. Ray's Heating and Air in Irwin. And speaking of 1979 Pittsburgh, Ed Whitson pitched for the 1979 Pittsburgh Pirates. There you go. He was traded in midseason for Bill Madlock. All right. How's that? Hey, I did want to talk a little bit about the Olympics. Like I said, I love the Winter Olympics. I really like it. I like it a lot more than the Summer Olympics. Perhaps not as much as Gazelle Bunchen walking down the aisle like he did and all this. But it's starting well. It's starting well. Michael Eaves was talking about how this Olympics compares to Sochi.
Compared to what we saw 4 years ago in the Winter Games, this so far has gotten up to a much better start from not just the games themselves, but also the things in and around the games in terms of the media getting around and the accommodations for the athletes and the media as well.
I oftentimes think of the Olympics and, okay, I'll give you this. And I was just thinking this because of the way sports can influence society. Jesse Owen, 1936 Summer Olympics, Berlin. Basically throwing to hell Hitler's master race theories. Could that have inspired Hitler to, invade and go to war? It was probably always in the cards. I'm certainly not blaming that. But how big was it for Jesse Owens in those Olympic Games to destroy Hitler's master race theories? What about 1980? It's the height of the Cold War and the Americans beat the Russians. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. That was a Cold War victory. It was huge. Talked a lot about how it got Americans to have pride in themselves again. Now we have a circumstance in Korea. And we hear all about Kim Jong-un, problems with North and South Korea. Michael Eaves had this to say. I think that, yes, hopefully for the better, just like the 80 Olympics were, that this could be, we're going to have the sign of the times. Very historic Olympics.
You have a collective of North Korean athletes and South Korean athletes competing as one unit here, and you have people on both sides of the issue. There are some who want to see a reunification of North and South Korea, but also some that don't want that.
Well, could we come together? Could this be the start of something? Sports influence society so much. Let's hear one last thing about Lindsey Vonn and Michael Eaves reporting.
I would say Lindsey Vonn. She said this will be her last Olympic Games. She's 33 years old. Of course, she won back in 2010, but she's had injuries that affected her performance in Torino, and also she missed Sochi because of it. Now she's on a hot run. She won her last 3 World Cup events in the downhill on the way here to Pyeongchang. She wants this to be her crescendo, if you will, of her Olympic career.
Vaughn, the player to watch? Well, possibly. Or the athlete to watch? But don't miss the hockey or the figure skating.
Backwoods to the city streets.